What's going on, guys? It's Snooze603, and for those that have seen the last couple of videos, you know that I'm back. For those that haven't seen them, I implore you that you take the time to go back and watch a few of the two most recent videos I have uploaded to the channel. One is announcing my return, and then the other one is announcing Dawnbreaker Gaming. I'm not going to go too much into detail about all that stuff because it's going to eat up too much time in this video, as it already has at this point. I'm going to ease my way back into the commentary game a little bit here by talking about Battlefield 4 again, because I'm familiar with it. I feel like I've been really out of touch with things, so I just kind of want to, go with things that are familiar. It helps me ease my way back into it. And there's actually a couple things I really want to talk about anyway, moving forward. Some things I'm actually really excited about, and some things I want to discuss about things I had said about the game in the past. Really, there's not much else I'm playing right now that I feel comfortable doing content on. I'm just kind of killing time until the next wave of new games come out in the upcoming weeks, and, well, actually, the upcoming months as well. As for Dawnbreaker content still will become a part of this channel at some point. This is not going to be purely Battlefield 4 anymore, and I realize that I'm probably going to alienate a lot of people, and that's fine. Before, I wasn't willing to go through like a complete channel rebuild and rebranding. There really actually isn't going to be so much rebranding. The name Shustybang is going to stick around. Stuff that is specifically for Dawnbreaker will be labeled as such, and it's just going to be a shared home for the two of them moving forward. But the content that I produce moving forward will also be varied. I'd like to do some more Let's Plays and stuff. I don't want to just be a one-trick pony like we had always been with Battlefield 4. So, that's the plan moving on. So, on to the title of the video. The CTE Initiative. Where does Battlefield 4 stand now? Well, let's back it up and start from the beginning. For those that don't know what it is, have no clue about it, or have heard the name and just don't know what it is, what is the CTE? Well, the CTE stands for Community Test Environment, and it is something that DICE LA pushed through to help fix Battlefield 4. What they needed to do is create a safe, controlled environment where they could continuously hotfix and hot patch the game, for free, basically, and without any barriers to go through, any red tape, so that they could continuously fix the game, basically real time. Like, okay, we think we fixed this, quickly patch it, people play it, test it, report back. Yeah, that worked, but it may have broke that. Or, hey, guess what? Everything worked. It's on PC only, and the reason for that is, again, because, with console, everything has to go through a certification process. It's time-consuming, and it's not cheap. With PC, there's no barriers like that, so they're able to just roll out patches as often as they want, and it doesn't cost them a dime. As far as I know, there's no red tape they have to go through. So that explains what the CTE is. What has it done for the game? Well, the whole goal of it was to fix the game, and to be honest, it really has done that. They've done a very, very good job with it. The guys at DICE LA, they really basically at this point have fixed damn near everything. Is it perfect? No, but it's pretty close. They've also had a lot of features. Like, one of the things you guys are going to see for that haven't seen it or played anything on it is the triage system, which is, how to explain this in the easiest way without actually seeing it, although it might be in the gameplay. So over any dead bodies, you will see like a little heart rate monitor and then a circle that slowly kind of starts to disappear as it times out until you can no longer revive them. Because, there's a certain amount of time you have to revive people. That has been really, really helpful, because now you can prioritize exactly who you should be reviving first and who you shouldn't be. And then you can know if it's worth getting to someone, or if they're going to, not going to be the option to be able to revive them or not. They fixed a lot of bugs elsewhere as well. Minor stuff compared to getting the overall game quality and hit detection fixed. But things like invisible walls, after it's been blown up, visually the wall is gone, but physically it's still there. So, you're technically shooting through the air where there's nothing, but the game physics still remember the wall being there. So, you get like a pew, 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 pew as you're shooting the wall in front of you, which shouldn't be there, but it's still there. So they fixed a lot of those. There was a lot of those on a lot of maps, but I believe they've got like 95% of them at this point. As far as last I saw and heard, they had fixed all of them that they are currently aware of. But there's some that popped up, especially on Final Stand. I've come across some myself, but that's what they're working on. What's currently going on right now with the CTE? Well, again, for those that are completely unaware of what's going on, whether through willful ignorance or just sheer ignorance because, life gets in the way at times, and that's understandable. Right now, the CTE is playing the maps that are coming up on the Final Stand DLC. The final, as it's now reported, the final DLC for Battlefield 4. There's been rumor going around there's potential that a 6th DLC may come out to kind of help continue to keep the Battlefield name alive and bridge that gap between the end of Battlefield 4 and when Battlefield Hardline comes out. Because for those that don't know, Battlefield Hardline is not coming out this year anymore. It's now coming out Q1 of 2015. So there's the off chance we might get a new DLC. But at any rate, what they're doing right now is they've released all 4 maps to be played individually, not all at the same time, on the CTE. So when they first started releasing it, day 1 was 1 map. And I forget the order of the maps now, but day 1 was one of the maps, and then day 2 they removed that map and put up another map. And day 3, again, they just kind of continued going on and on. The 4 maps were Giants of Karelia, or Karelia, depends on how you want to pronounce it, Hammerhead, Hangar 21, and Operation Whiteout. I gotta say, out of all those, I think my favorite was Operation Whiteout, if I'm remembering it correctly. To me, it actually reminded me a lot of Operation Firestorm from Battlefield 3. And just that it's a snowy area. But it was fun. I really like that map. It's one of my favorites so far. Hangar 21's got some potential, but it's because you're all fighting on one just really big steep hill. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain exactly how I feel about it. But I'm not going to get into too much detail now because a lot of things could change with that. And the goal is to do a completely in-depth review of the Final Stand DLC for Dawnbreaker Gaming, within a week after the DLC is officially released for all platforms. Now, not only are we playing the new maps, but we're also playing some different game modes on it to make sure everything works. So, when all 4 maps were released over 4 days, first everyone was playing 64-man Conquest Large. And then from there, they dumped it down to 32-player servers playing Capture the Flag. And then they played, what I was playing actually today on Sunday, September 14th, was playing Rush on, I already forget which map it is now. But at any rate, playing 32-player Rush. And I gotta say, for the most part, everything feels pretty damn good. And I'm not really a fan of playing 64-player servers myself anymore. It's just, unless it's Conquest Large, like that works, but any other game mode, 64 players just doesn't really seem to work. It kind of takes away from the quality of the overall game. And I think I'm in the minority with that, but that's okay. Everyone has their personal preferences. So that's what's currently going on right now with the CTE. To kind of get to the meat of the matter, what do I personally think of Battlefield 4 and its playability now? Like, where does Battlefield 4 stand right now as the current CTE build? I got to eat my words here, because I honestly did not think, 1, that they could fix it, or 2, that they would fix it. And from what I've seen personally, and I've played, now I gotta think. I had a really long weekend of a couple of weddings back to back, so everything's kind of hazy at this point with a lack of sleep. But I believe I played 4 nights now. I've played 4 nights in a row, and almost no bullshit. To me, it feels like the game is as good, as far as hit detection goes, as Battlefield 3 was. And that's huge. I said that from the moment Battlefield 4 is launched, that I'm okay with whatever they do, so long as it plays as good as Battlefield 3 or better. Now, by no means am I saying Battlefield 3 is perfect, because we all know that it had its own fair share of issues. And they did get really annoying after a while, but I don't think they were necessarily huge. There were some things that you would have loved to see, like get rid of the suppression and shit like that, but I put hundreds and hundreds of hours into that game, which is a big deal for me because I don't really generally spend that much time playing games anyway. And it got even harder to spend that much time playing once I had my son. So, to kind of know exactly what I loved about Battlefield 3 and then now see and feel that Battlefield 4 on the CTE build is as good as Battlefield 3, that gets me really excited. Now, for those that do follow me on Twitter know that at one point I did say, it was a couple of weeks ago, maybe even 2 months ago, that I was playing one night on the CTE and things were going well. I think I had like 2 different nights of sessions where things went well and there was like no bullshit with the hit detection. And I was like, dude, if it plays as well as I think it's going to from this point forward, I'm going to play the shit out of it. And that's held true so far. So personally, regarding Battlefield 4, I'm liking it. I'm getting really excited because the CTE has been really, really good lately. And there really is no other game out there for me right now that kind of fills that void that is Battlefield 4. I haven't played Armored 3 yet. I have it. I just haven't made the time for it yet. I've heard really good things. I know that Skinner Barkley and all his friends, they have like a whole well, not clan, I guess, but like, a group of guys where that's their thing. They play Arma 3, and I've heard really, really good things about it. I just haven't had time to, set it up. I got nothing bad to say about it because I don't have anything to say about it. But as far, as far as Battlefield 4 and its playability goes, if there's any chance you can get in to play on the CTE right now before it goes to the what everyone's calling the BF4 vanilla build, which is the retail version that everyone has access to, I strongly recommend that you try and get on there and play it because it's a completely different world. And I'm really looking forward to see how much the vanilla version is going to be able to benefit once they move all of these updates and the new maps and everything from the CTE to the vanilla build. I'm going to eat my words here, but to kind of wrap it up, do I take back all the bad things I said about this game? Yes and no. I take back doubting the guys at DICE LA thinking that they wouldn't or couldn't fix the game. Granted, it did take a long time. It is now September. We are 1 month away from this game being out for a friggin' year. Is that acceptable? No, not at all. And honestly, any lawsuits, directed towards EA regarding, I don't really know how to put it, because in the U.S. we don't have any sort of laws to protect consumers when it comes to video games, but I do believe that there are laws against that. It's kind of like a lemon law in the U.S. for cars, and they have something similar to that in some of the European countries that pertain to like video games and shit like that. I think those lawsuits are warranted because this is bullshit. This game never should have been released. Had this game launched like right now, where it's about to actually go out and have like the final build go through and make the game as good as Battlefield 3, like everything would have been so much better. They never should have launched in 2 years, and they're kidding themselves if they think they can do this again. However, I tip my hat to them because they did fix it. There's only so much tipping I can do again because they tried to release a 3-year game in 2 years. They never should have done it. They couldn't do it. The proof is in the pudding. They couldn't do it. Now, I can't say, and I'm really not going to say, that all is forgiven because it shouldn't be. Again, the whole debacle that was the Battlefield 4 release is just abhorrent in so many different levels. But at this point, it's water under the bridge. I'm not going to go into more detail about everything that happened because they've been trying to do everything they can to fix it. And while they have, I definitely do think it's way too little, too late. Well, maybe not too little, but it's definitely too late more than anything. A lot of people left the franchise. I mean, a lot of people have they've given up. And a good chunk of that number have also just said, no, fuck no, I'm not buying anything from EA moving forward. They have to prove it to me. And I want to see it. I'm going to wait for this next game, in this case being Hardline, to come out and really prove to me and let all the other people out there that are, quote unquote, foolish enough to buy it on day one, or, even more foolish in my opinion to pre-order it. That second part is my personal feelings. The other one I'm just kind of, quoting verbatim of just the general public, if you will. They're just going to wait and see and make EA prove it to them that they're willing to hold off on releasing a game until they get something quality to put out first. Make sure the game's actually worth the full $60. I mean, overall, the CTE is a good thing. This is kind of a separate thought, but to kind of wrap it up as far as the whole CTE thing goes, it was a very good thing. And hopefully they're going to continue to use it for titles moving forward. And honestly, I don't see how they can get away with not using it because it's been so hugely beneficial to their game. Not only just, ironing out all the last minute bullshit that they couldn't fix before the game is launched, but making the game experience overall more better. Because I understand that the developers, when they make a game, they have an original vision. And they're saying, all right, guys, they get the whole team together and they start putting shit down on paper and they say, this is the direction we want to go and this is what we have in mind for the game. And they test it internally and they say, okay, this needs tweaking that. But then eventually, in their hands, they have the final product and they say, this is it. This is what we envisioned. This is what we want to sell. So let's give it out to the public. But, especially when it comes to first-person shooters, there's what the developers envision, and then there's how the players and the consumers pick it up and interpret it and actually use it. And more importantly than anything, it's how they end up using it that should dictate how it should be adjusted to make sure that the overall experience is worth it. And that's where I think the CTE has really been invaluable, because all these real players, and hundreds and thousands of them, have come in and played it, and offer their feedback saying, this works, this doesn't, that needs to tweak, that's okay, maybe buff that, nerf that, hold on, so on and so forth. And it's made the overall whole experience better, and DICE has taken a step back and say, okay, so, that's what we wanted, but obviously it doesn't translate into real-world gaming with the masses, so we will adjust it to make it work in that situation. And that's good. They've really embraced that aspect, I feel, and that's huge for that company moving forward, and really, more importantly than anything, the franchise. So, if you're a Battlefield fan that's been on the fence as to how you feel about it, step off the ledge. things have gotten better. There's some contention as to whether or not it really truly has gotten better, but I honestly think it has. But that's just based on the CTE, so we'll see how it goes when they actually port it over to the full vanilla version, and we'll see how it goes from there. To wrap this all up, what's going to be coming from Shustybang in the immediate future? I don't know. It's coming up towards the end of the year. For those that have been following me for the past couple of years since we started the channel, you'll know that fall is always a very time-consuming time for me because, owning a house, and especially with the family now, it's very time-consuming making that changeover from summer to fall and winter, getting, like firewood stacked and everything for the wood stove for the winter, trying to get in last-minute fishing before the end of the season. I got to pack up my boat, before the snow flies and all that stuff. So, like, the next 6 weeks are going to be incredibly busy for me. So, if I can get out, like, 2 to 3 videos at the absolute most a week, that's going to be, like, really, really good. So, in the immediate short term, probably expect more like 1 video a week, without a doubt, maybe 2. And the plus side, for those that have stuck around this long to listen and watch, I appreciate it and thank you very much, and 2, the Game Speak's coming back. We're going to do it because one of the things, in case you didn't know about this, in case you didn't know this about me, is that I like to talk quite a lot. I am very opinionated when it's welcome. I try not to just throw it out there and like force it on people. I'm kind about it. I mind my manners. So, I actually really do miss doing the Game Speak, and we're going to try and tie it into Dawnbreaker and everything. So it's going to definitely be myself and Epona, and we'll try and bring on 1 or maybe 2 people and hopefully make it a weekly thing. I don't know if we'll live stream it and then just upload the live stream. It's something I have yet to consider, but we'll see how it goes. That's it. That's all done. For those that have played the CTE, please let me know down below in the comments what you think of it so far. And go ahead and offer your thoughts, because while I know a lot of people that are watching this love to listen to and value my opinion, it definitely doesn't hurt. It always helps to hear the opinions of others that have been in there and played it. So give us your feedback. And again, once Final Stand actually drops, I'm going to go the whole hog and give it 110% of my effort to make a really good, nice, professional, fully blown review of the whole thing. For those that haven't been there yet, go check out our new website, Dawnbreaker Gaming. It was created by myself and Epona. She already put up our first official review, and it was on Destiny. She did a top-notch job. There's a link down in the description below to the website. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening to my rambling. Wasn't probably the greatest of verbal quality that I've had in a while, but I haven't done this in months. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. Thank you for watching. If you could share the video, I'd appreciate it. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe, please. We got a lot more things coming in the immediate future, and I will catch you guys later.